What's up? We'll start again in a minute. Okay. What I decided during the break was the following thing. Recall that the whole reason that I'm doing this rewrite of the undo system is that the old version was hard to think about and hard to understand. Well, one aspect of the current way that I'm interfacing with it, not the new work that we've been doing today, but the way that I'm interfacing with it, let's see how many people are here and whether I should slow down or keep going. Well, Twitch says 0 people are here, so whatever. I'm just going to go. Oh, 104. Okay, that's good enough. So the way that I'm interfacing with it was, if you were watching this last stream, you know, this thing about how we actually record the state of the entities like before a move occurs, and then after you've moved, you know, we just use that state. And we just keep recording the state at the beginning of every move. To me, that also seems like the hard way to think about it. Like if I was recording the state at the end of every move, it just kind of makes more sense. Like, oh, we changed the state. Here's how you get to the new state, right? Rather than this, like, here's how you get back from the cache to the history of the cache thing. I was thinking during the break, why did I do it this way? Because I know I changed it recently. In fact, changing this is what prompted this undo rewrite in the first place, because the old system was not really very conducive to doing this, and it just felt messy and stuff. And the reason I did it was because if you start moving across a square, but you haven't finished moving, then then you want to go undo back to the beginning of your previous move. But what I realize now is I could do that a different way. I could do that by just checking to see if we're moving, right? If there's a player-initiated transaction in flight. And if that's true, then we just revert to the cache state, right? And if it's false, like if we're done moving, then we know that we take an actual undo step, right? That makes sense to me and is also a lot more like the way the editor wants to think about things. Like the editor doesn't want to think about the state before the last change. It wants to think about the state after the last change. I don't know. So I'm going to rejigger stuff around to work that way, and hopefully it will not take very long because we just jiggered it back the other way before the break. If that makes sense to everybody. I ruined your workday. I am sorry. You have the freedom to tune in or not tune in. So maybe we collaboratively ruined your workday. I don't know. JavaScript truthiness rules say 0 is equal to 104. I think that's true. It's probably also equal to 110, which is what the number says now. Okay, so that is the new plan. So I have to think back to, okay, what is an undo going to be again if you do it and the state is recorded after every move? Well, okay, what's in the cache in that instance? What's in the cache, I guess, is just a duplicate of the world state that we would only use this is a little weird. Yeah. What's in the cache is a duplicate of the world state that we only use for the purposes of if we haven't actually completed a transaction. And then we walk that cache backwards to the previous world state using, and then we only replace the entities that changed. So we don't have to do this crazy unperformant thing. And then when we go deal with what happens if the transaction isn't done, then we'll do the crazy unperformant thing for now. I like that plan generally. The cache would be the starting state. It would be the ending state after the last move, right? Because we would be saving state at the end of a move instead of the beginning of the move. And it's just going to be easier to think about. And that's what I want right now, is to make it as easy as possible to think about, not only for finishing this game, but if we're going to give this engine out to people, then if they want to make a turn-based game with it, we might as well make it as easy as possible for the largest number of people to understand. That is what I think about all these issues. The cache is not quite the current state, because the current state is actually in the world. The cache is like the last recorded state. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I wonder... I mean, I'm not convinced we totally need the cache, but... like, we only need a certain number of entities. I don't know. We can think about that later, but for now, we've got this cache. It represents the state at the end of the last transaction. When you say, really do one undo, we're not going to do this again. This commented out code is approximately what we should do to roll back a transaction that has begun but not been recorded via undo yet. But we aren't yet handling that. We will soon, like hopefully within 10 minutes or something. So, let's go back to this. What were we doing? We were looking up things in the worlds, getting them out of the cache. It's not even quite right, because that doesn't handle entity destructions either, but whatever. Okay. This is what was here. So this is, let's go to the transactions. Let's do this one. Let's apply it to the cache. And then, again, we're going to do this thing to everybody that we change, right? So in do entity, what does do entity changes call? Do entity changes calls apply diff. Actually, let's do all this stuff here. So we call apply diff We remove edest from grid. We call apply diff. We copy entity data from cache to edist, dest, and do all that, just like we did before I undid that during the break. Now, because we're doing it here, it means a different thing than it did when we do it at a different time, right? So here it's like, okay, we apply the changes to take the cache back to a previous point in time. And then we copy those cached entities, right? So now the cache represents the last recorded state, and the undos there represent how we got to the last recorded state. It's really not that different. It's basically the same. It's just that here, here we roll back and copy versus copy and then roll back. That's the only difference. Okay. But it makes a little bit of a usability difference because if you roll back and then copy, the rollback tells you who to copy. Whereas if you have to copy and then roll back, you don't know who to copy. That was the thing that we ran into before that I had to do the really slow thing with. Okay. So let's just make sure that compiles. And then now let's change when we call undo end frame, which is the thing that records the undo. We're doing that right now in the editor undo panel, but we're also doing it in simulate. And this is a little bit not the right time. So this is where we do this when we want to record at the start of a transaction. But we want to go, is it in visual interpolation? I might have to diff this versus, should do player move is maybe retire next transaction. Okay. If we retired a transaction here, then we undo an end frame. Or not undo an end frame, end frame is a weird name. I should call it like undo checkpoint state or something. The point being, I don't know if this is exactly right. We'll see. Okay. I'm hitting undo, nothing, because we're here. Stepping forward 1 square, backward 1 square. Great. 2 squares, 1, 2. Great. Okay. It's working right so far. Now the thing is, if I go here and I start moving, but then I hit undo, I'll actually pop back 1.5 squares. That's the part, that's intended behavior. We haven't handled it yet. So like this. Oh, we didn't. What? That's freaking me out. I thought I understood how the world works. Now I'm worried about what's happening because I don't understand that. Something else is going. Did I not save the other thing? I did. I commented it out. Is there more than one here? I'm freaking out. Okay, well, let's just see if this kind of works. Let's go down here and get killed. Oh, that didn't work. That didn't work. Okay, so we have a problem. Okay. So our dead flag is set to true. And then the transaction is over. So we recorded it. Okay, that's correct. If I fell directly in there, it was fine. But if I go this way, it's not totally fine. Yeah, now funny stuff is happening. What the hell is that? Okay, yeah, we're not doing the right thing. What is the speed markup doing? It's telling me that I need to optimize that later. I don't know if the issue is when I try to move while dead. It might be. Oh, it might be. I'm not sure why that would matter, but it might matter. Well, it's also... like, we also shouldn't stop there. There's all sorts of things that are a little messed up. Okay, there I moved once while dead. Yeah, interesting. So if I move while dead, it really doesn't like that. Like, terribly doesn't. Okay. Let's put an if physically moved here. I think that's necessary. I don't know, honestly. No, that isn't certainly not changing that. Oh, now we're hosed. Okay. Oh, right. Physically moved is if we physically moved this. Okay. Okay. I just want to diff this file to what I had before to see if I'm forgetting something. Diff. Num untimed physical moves, undo end frame. Yeah. That's what it used to be. It was up here. So, see, that's why you leave commented code in sometimes. All right, so there. Except that's wrong. That's wrong. No, we really do want to do it when we retire. Let's check maybe retire. Next transaction. Where is that? If we're waiting on player transaction, should do player move equals true. Okay. We're just going to put it here. Wait, what? Undo end frame. Num untimed. Oh, I left that one there. Boop. Okay. This still isn't going to work because I didn't really change enough. But so the moving while dead is a clue. I just don't know why it's a clue. the annoying red beam here. So let's put this way. Oh, that didn't help. Point it another way. There we go. The falling thing okay, the don't record while falling is definitely a thing that we used to have before we rejiggered it. But I don't want to add that till I figure out the dead thing. So falling. Oh, you know what we're doing at record time probably isn't right. Yeah? So what do we do at undo end frame? What should we do? So the undo state represents the state at the end of the last frame. So we should diff ourselves off of that, as we do in scan for changed entities, right? So let's go to that. And then we should update the things in the cache. And I think we do that, right? Scan for changed entities. Scan one entity. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, we diff the entity. E old into E, where E old is the thing in current entity state, which is our cache. Okay. Remove the old entity from the current entity state table, clone E, and put it there. That is, as far as I know, what we should be doing. So the things in the cache are what's in the current state table. Would it be difficult to show the undo stack visually on the side of the window, or is that too time consuming for this debugging? If I get really desperate, I might try that, but I don't want to do it right now. I just want to understand what's going on and fix it. Fix it. Have a good sleep. I wish I could sleep. It's not quite bedtime, but I want to figure out what's going on here. So when we move while we're dead, what should be happening? Well, we have a dead guy and we try to move him. Nothing really would have changed, but we record another undo state with a dead guy on it. Okay. You know what? So the problem there is because he's dead and then we didn't change the dead status doesn't get recorded, and we can never become undead after that time. So I'm going to go back to doing this again a little bit more the braid way, which is not that different from this way. But the braid way is that what we store in the messages is not a diff from the previous or next frame or whatever. it's well, it's any field that's different from the default, right? Because then it's just, I don't know how you do that. I might have to change everything we did if I make it more like the braid way. Not everything, but a little bit. Change what we store in the messages and all that. Yeah. I don't know, guys. I kind of feel like I just need to think about it some more. Maybe I shouldn't have fired up another stream. I just kind of want to rest and think about it. What's the best way to do it? What's wrong with the current approach? What is wrong with the current approach is... Actually, I don't know what's wrong with the current approach. It's a good point. The thing that I just thought was... I had convinced myself that there was a certain problem with it, but in retrospect, that is not the problem. I don't know. So it's true. So maybe we should do this more the braid way. Maybe we shouldn't, but let's debug the current way. Let's figure out why the current way. I'm tired, guys. This is... Streaming takes it out of you. Yeah, I think so too. Can we compile with LLVM without it crashing yet? No. And I don't want to update the compiler right now. Maybe I should. Maybe someone fixed something. Let's try it. I do know that someone fixed something. I don't know if it was this. Oh, God damn it. That's a mistake. Subversion is bad at... Oh, Ignacio was doing the same thing. Okay. He has this table find pointer thing. And it's... Because it looks exactly like this. Here we go. There we go. Next conflict. Why is blank spaces a conflict? Okay. So it's in my to-do list to clean that up. Let's build the compiler. Start a frickin' Visual Studio. Start a frickin' Visual Studio. Rebuild the compiler. We will see what happens. Is it still crashing? It could be a total disaster. Maybe everything. Okay, this works still. That's just x64. That's no surprise. Okay, we haven't destroyed our ability to work. That's good. That's always a possibility when you update. LLVM? Nope. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the problem is I just didn't write any of that, so I don't. The amount of time it would take me to figure out what's going on and fix it is inordinate. It's not a good path to go down right now. So we can't really run the debugger, which is a drag. So we're restricted to printf debugging right now. How do I feel about the status of the language and where it's going? I feel very good about it, except for that one bug. Yeah, it's good. I mean, there's a lot of work to do, but that's why I'm doing a lot of work. All right, so when I'm dead, I should have a cached guy who's dead, and then I move again, and what happens? We diff off that. We apply the diff to the new cache. Okay, and then when I undo, I should be able to undo once and get a dead guy, and then undo twice and get a not dead guy. If I could run the debugger, it would not be very hard to track this down. I'm fucking pissed that I'm having this bug right now. Okay. The falling thing is a little weird, but it's expected. So here, that's a little weird because we kind of skipped that square. Okay, so here, if I move, whoa, how'd I jump over there? Reset. Boom. Undo. It's fine. Reset. Okay, one thing I can do to make things more printf debuggable is like only record, it's going to be something dumb again, but only record state about guys, and I can delete the other guy off the level. I don't need him right now. So if I do this, in fact, I don't need this right now. Okay, we should be able to undo once and then undo again. I don't understand why we can't undo the second time. Are we just like not? That's so weird. It's like for some reason, let's watch this down here. I want to make sure the records actually pop, right? So I moved and I can't. So now when I do the undo, It's not actually trying. It's like blocking it somehow. Right? Whereas if I'm here and I'm only dead, then see that 7 records, 6 records, we actually pop it. So that problem is not in the undo system, weirdly. Except that it was that one time. Okay, it's probably, well, I don't know, does it get cleared? Maybe it does. Wish I could run the debugger. So here, 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 dead, dead. There's like 0 things. How is that happening? I would so run a data breakpoint right there. And I can't run the damn debugger at all. Let's leave that there. That's really weird. Okay, what messes with undo records? This does. Does someone call that? Probably. Nope. Fucking. I have to replace these bad speakers that are falling over now because they're bad. I guess I could screw it in better. Still want to deal with that. What is Montreal Chris Lee doing that is getting these messages deleted? You've never had a thought that I'm a programmer. Now with all this hardcore stuff, my mind is blown. You're completely amazed. Inspired me to do some more C++ stuff, even though you don't like it. Yeah, well, you know, as long as you're doing something, that's pretty good. Moving while dead shouldn't affect the undo stack at all. Is that right? Well, in principle, it shouldn't. Because we've moved around where it happens, right now it would. But then once it's working that way, then we can say, well, okay, if the player's dead, like, don't do the undo, right? The problem is someone's frickin' resetting the stack. Like something in some piece of code is setting off the LLVM backend in a bad way, and I didn't write that. So it's just, if I go try to solve it, it's just a big rat hole. All right. Well, how is this getting reset? Let's turn this back on just in case. Undo records. Who else messes with those? Oh, scuttle last undo. We could be scuttling in a loop. Like the conditions under which, I don't even remember when we call this. This is something we added yesterday, but it's been some hours since that time. Okay, so we're dead. Move. We scuttled in a loop. We scuttled. Okay, this is making sense. Scuttle one. What's it called? Not scuttle one. Scuttle last undo. But we just scuttle. That's the only one. Simulate. Right. We scuttle here because we used to add it here. Right? Like you do this transaction. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do about this. I guess if it fails, we just didn't ever add an undo. That's my theory. Okay, none of these scuttles can happen. Actually, scuttle is out for now. That's just not the way things work. Okay, so now that also might explain how I like semi-teleported and whatever, because that's just not how things should work now. Okay, there. Okay, this is not so bad. Okay. Why does that thing think it's powered? I need to make a note to the team. Okay. Well, have I messed around with VS Code at all? No, and I have no interest in it whatsoever. It's a bad idea. No interest whatsoever. Okay, so now let's get rid of a few of these. Let's get rid of these prints. All right. We are going to now not record the undo under certain circumstances. Where are we calling this from? We've changed so many things. I'm just confused. It's in simulate. Oh yeah, it's over here. Okay, if should record undo. Okay, so for now, we're going to do this. We're going to say, if anyone's falling, No, we're going to say if the active hero is falling, right? So no, not the active hero. Because you can switch active heroes. You want the entity ID that started the transaction. That must be in the entity manager, right? No, what? What are you talking about? Oh my God. Okay. Well, we're going to have to make this better, but that's separate. I'm making a note for that. Hero is get active hero manager, active player hack. This is not correct. We need well, it's like, what's the falling policy really? To figure out how not to make weird things happen if the player switches characters while a guy is falling. But that's not really an undo system policy. That's like a figure out how the game interacts with undo situation that we can do separately from this. So if array find manager.falling entities hero.entity ID return false, return true. This returns a bool. Something like that. That is not right, but it's close enough for now. Like if I fall and then do, get active hero. If no hero, return false, I guess. Or return true, I don't know. That itself might prevent us from recording all this while dead, right? So dead, boop. Okay. So, like, we're still in the falling entities array here, so we're not recorded. Here, and then here we're dead. Yeah. So get active hero has and can be dead, but that's not going to help us here. It's just really weird. There's all these off by one kinds of problems. Like, so when I finish falling, and I had this in before, when we finish falling, that happens after the transaction completes for some reason. Then we record, okay? And yeah. So undo end frame. Okay. I did this the other day to make all these work with the old thing, and then I took them out, and then I'm putting them back now, because that's what we do in programming. In programming, we do things one way, then we undo them and do them another way, and then we realize that was wrong, and then we undo that and redo them the way that we originally did and then undid. It's just what happens. Okay. So in falling, I just had this way the other day. Stop falling E. In stop falling, if E is equal to get active hero, we do not record while falling, so we need to do it now. However, this isn't handling clones, character switches, etc. Cleanup or robustness. We'll call that robustness. And what was my thing here? Active player hack. So like I need to figure out that. And then same when we kill a player. Do kill is what it's called. So if it's a guy, same thing. Get active hero is going to return null here. Unless I say can be dead. Oh, get active hero ID. We'll do this way. Maybe that won't even work. Let's see if that works. It might not, because we're setting dead first. It did. Okay, great. Boop, 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 boop. Now it works just like the other day. I'm sure glad I did all this work to make it work exactly like it worked the other day. I don't know why it even works as well as it does, because the half square thing should be a problem. Oh, that didn't work. How come we didn't die? That was very weird. Maybe that was an animation system bug that's very rare. Okay, well, it's kind of working surprisingly well, except not there. What the hell? Consistently crashes. Can't tell where, because I bet we still can't file LLVM. Nope. Okay, well. It's probably the falling check. I don't know why that would change anything. Like if I just, well, now I can't undo. Wait, what? Oh God. Because we record. Okay, here's what's going on. We die and stop falling in the same frame. So we're recording twice in the same frame. I undo, and it's undoing one, but then we're recording twice or something again. So I can never frickin' get out of it. This is really gross. If e.falling. Let's try that. I don't know which order these would fire in. Boom. Okay, okay. Saved. Boom. Saved. Help me, help me, help me. Boom. Okay. That is not a very robust fix. We will have to do something about it. It's fine. Like I said, we need a more robust thing anyway. Okay, so like I said, I'm a little, oh, that time I didn't, what? I think that's an animation system problem. Yeah, because I'm jiggling, I'm actually dead, it's just not playing the right animation. There's some kind of timing animation issue. Then maybe it's the animator is getting a little confused by the undo because I'm not clearing all the state or something. You know. Anyway, this is fine for now. So really, now we got to be able to handle entity takes and drops like this. That's never coming back. This, that's never coming back. So let's do that. So is the fix just not to push the dash on the undo stack? The fix was not to push death and stop falling both on the undo stack in the same frame. Or it's not putting it on the undo stack, it's causing the undo stack to get deeper. You don't do both on the same frame. Like I said, it's not a very robust fix. Is there any actual state of importance between grid squares? Aren't they just a turn is a turn-based game? So why is the undo not just the game state at the turn? It is, though. It's just when you get down into what that really means when you're going to implement it, it's complicated, right? Fidel doesn't have continuously moving, animating things in the same way as this game, I don't think. I don't know. I don't know how Fidel implements its in undo. I mean, we've changed around the way this works like 3 times today, so there's that. I also don't think Fidel serializes. I think it's just copies of the objects. If you stagger them a frame, no, I'm not staggering them a frame. The point is, both of those changes happen during the frame, and it's fine. Like, what I really could do for a more robust fix is just set a global variable that says at the end of the frame, record the state. And you'll get a state that has both, right? It turns out that stop falling happens second, so it does that anyway. It's not a robust fix, but I already have in my notes that I have to fix it better anyway because of the fucking player switching and all this other stuff. So I'm not going to bother doing something else right now because it's not the right solution anyway. What I'm going to do is focus on making the undo system work, and then we'll worry about how the game interfaces with it under certain specific conditions. Okay. I mean, Fidel does have animating things in it, but not... I feel like not really in the same way. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So let's do entity destroy. So we want to be able to undo a destroy. I feel like after we get this working, I want to do even another simplification pass. Because I feel like we don't need to do as much as we're doing, even though we're doing less than before. It's just how it is. Okay, so if there's an entity destruction, I'm going to say array add pending entity destructions. Something like that. Handler. Remember how we had those pending actions before? We're going to do this. We're going to add a pending destructions, comma, wait. That's not what we want. What are we even looking at here? Record.transactions. Okay, this is when we're playing back. We're not playing back yet. We're recording. Undo note destroyed entity. This is what we want. Okay. All this, and then here we say entity ID, but we're also going to remove it from creations just in case we like created something and destroyed it in the same frame. So, okay, hold on. array remove, unordered remove. Why does it remove an S64? I see. Yep. Count is array unordered remove, right? If we didn't remove anything, we add. All right. And the same thing here. When we're going to do pending destructions, if not count, we add it to, actually, no. We're creating, so it exists now. Yeah, so we always, if unique, something like that. So now we need to make these lists. Pending creations is an array of portable ID. So is destructions. And where was my other pending thing? We had that old pending actions. Yeah. So whenever we reset pending actions is when we do this. Now, I'm wondering if there's some weird case where we need to record creations and destructions in order. I hope not. I don't think so. Because if we create something new, it shouldn't have the ID of something old. That is what I think. Ocean change comes later. Clear current undo frame. Stomp array. Why would I stomp the array? I don't want to stomp the array. I just want to reset it. Mismatching levels of indirection. Wanted a pointer? Array, what? Array unordered remove. Oh, did I make it a pointer up here? Yeah, that's goofy. That's not what those are. Unclear identifier undo 663 because it's called handler probably. Chandler the handler. All right, great. That's not actually going to do anything because look, we just put it in these arrays. Now, when we look at all this debugging that I used to have. Holy cow. Move entity, update physical position, this is blah, blah, blah. This is all gone now. Oh, geez. I was very transactional about this. It is a good point. Hmm. Well, I'm not convinced that that did the right thing before, because state changes were just kind of arbitrarily ordered. You know what I'm kind of half in the mood to do? I'm kind of half in the mood, now that I've learned everything that I learned, I kind of want to clear everything and start over. Not really, like maybe copy and pasting a lot of the code that I have, but no, I feel like I'll end up just doing all the same things. Sometimes I just want to redo. F that array up. There aren't 400 videos about this language on YouTube. This is not Handmade Hero. There aren't even 200. There's like some amount. There's some amount of videos. Okay. We're not worrying about the order of changes because it doesn't make sense. Like, we're scanning the world for these entities. It's almost time for me to go. I got to make something happen before it's time to go. I want to get some pending creations in there. Okay. So we're not trying to do an undo. We're trying to record these things. We're trying to... where did we scan for changed entities? It's there. Here. Okay. When we do the builder... Oh, we're not using... Oh, yeah, we are. Okay. Instead of naming S here, we can just put this down there. Oh. No, because we're just printing here. That's fine. So, for handler.pending creations, add entity creation manager handler it. And then clear current undo frame, which should, yeah, reset those arrays. That's great. And we're not going to stomp the array, which is that's gone. This is gone as well. Scuttle is gone. We're simplifying. We're simplifying our lives. Okay, so those routines do not exist. Add entity creation does not exist. So or destruction. It's a little bit like we did it before, but we're going to say action, undo action type. Well, we are going to store the action type, right? Put, builder. We're going to put builder, comma, cast U8 action. That's fine. We are entity ID. Where do we store those? Is that in serialize? Yeah. We put that into the builder. And then we want to, for every field, store the value of the field. This is annoying because we can't use the same code as before because these are unidirectional and not bidirectional, which is why I'm writing down question, the bidirectional thing, because it leads to more code. So I have to record basically the entire state of the entity here, right? Because if we destroyed the entity, then when we undo this, we need to be able to recreate the entity with all its fields. And if we created the entity here, then when we undo that, we need to destroy the entity, and that's fine. But then when we redo that, we need to be able to create the entity, right? So we need to store all the fields. Let me make it so that we call this correctly. Add entity creation or destruction manager handler undo action type dot create. Why isn't it just called undo action? I don't know. Undo action type dot create builder and the ID. Is it called creation? Destruction. Okay. So we add entity creation or destruction in both of these things. And we put the action type, we put the ID, and then we got to put all the fields, which is fine. That'll be pretty easy. Let's just make sure that compiles. Doesn't. Right, we got to take the pointer. Sometimes you got to take the pointer, and we don't have the entity. So 123. Okay. This doesn't work as straightforwardly as I would like, for the following reason. If I wait until it's time to record the undo, this is one of the things that makes this harder than braid or something, a little bit harder, right? If I'm going to note an entity destruction, I need to record the information right then because many frames later, when I save the undo, that entity's gone. All right, that entity has been destroyed. It is an X parrot. So like I need to save a buffer with the entity data. It has ceased to be, yes. I need to save a buffer with the entity data way earlier. And then at this time, when we're saving the undo, I just need to clear it. But we need to do all this other stuff about, okay, what if we created it and then destroyed it? Well, we shouldn't record it. So we need to do a little bit fancy schmancier things here. So hold on a sec. Turn some lights on. Okay. So I'm going to switch. It's time for me to go pretty soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this array. There's going to be one array for both creations and destructions, I guess. Although it shouldn't matter. Maybe I'll make two arrays. And instead of just an ID, it's going to hold a little ID with a struct and then a dump of the entity data. But the dump of the entity data is going to be empty. So on the list, I'm going to put creation and destruction entity data is going to be the next thing that we do. Wow, man. There's so much to do. This is what happens when you rewrite a core system. This is going to take days. Taking days. All right. Let's do that. So we're going to say there's a thing called creation info. Call it CD info for creation or destruction. It's a struct. It has undo action type, not it's undo action type. Yeah, I kind of want to change a lot of things about the way this works. Oh my God. Okay, we're just going to do this. So we have the undo action type, and maybe tomorrow I'm going to get up and I'm going to change a whole bunch of this. It's just how it is sometimes. So we have the type, and then we're going to have the data serialized entity data is a string, right? And then these, oh, and the ID of the entity. I don't like acronyms because they mess with my capitalization style. So we're going to call it creation info. And we're just going to know that it's for creation or destruction because it's got an action type. Okay. So pending creations. Add entity creation or destruction, manager handler, it, and builder. Same thing here. This was supposed to be pending destructions. That was a bug. Hope somebody caught that. So no comma down here. And we're going to put, what did I call it? Creation info. We're going to call this action. Info.action, info.id, and put, for string builder, I already have something. Append, yeah. Append builder, comma, info dot, is it called serialized entity data? Serialized entity data. There we go. Now, pending creations. When we note a created entity, we say info is a creation info. Info.action equals undo action type.creation, not creatine. Info.id is e.entity ID, and info. Info dot, serialized entity data equals double quote incomplete implement me serialize. I'm going to put that note. Serialize. Okay. And then we're going to array add pending creations info. Now, before we do this, we're going to be a little bit different in attitude. We're going to say for handler.pending creations, assert it.id is not equal to e.entity ID. We're just straight up saying we shouldn't have ever got two creation notifications in a row for an object without destroying something of the same ID in the middle. That just shouldn't happen. And in fact, I'm going to say it better not be in the destroy list either. It's just going to make life simpler. I don't know if we need to do this. If we do, we can handle it later. Okay. So then we do the same thing down here. We just assert that it's not there. And then we do this exactly the same thing here, but we add it to destructions. And we change the action type. All right. So we're not actually serializing it yet, but we are adding it. Now, this will not yet run because even when we fix it, it still won't replace the destroyed entities. However, we have to reset these lists. Hold on. When we reset these, let's say for undo.pending creations, free it.serialize entity data pending destructions, right? That and there. Okay. So we are adding some data for each of these, right? Here. We are not adding all the data that we need, but we're adding 3 bytes per. So when we're doing this loop here, we need to say, okay, well, so we know if it's an undo or a redo down here. But either way, we have to read the same data, right? So if it's a creation or destruction, we ID is U32. We might cast that away later. We're going to get remaining ID U32. We're going to that's it. Actually, because we read the first byte, now we're reading these two. And we just don't do anything yet. Oh, wait, no, because we append the string. So string count is S64. Get remaining string count, and then we assert string count is equal to 0. Incomplete colon serialize. That's our note about that. Okay, so maybe that'll run. This is called handler for some reason. It's called undo one time, handler the other time. All right. Who knows what's going to happen here? Pick it up. Undo one. Nope. Assert failed. Yeah, we're trying to get more data than is there. Oh, because we're not saving the length of this string, actually. We're just saving the string. So we do have to put builder. There we go. That's what I meant. Pick up, undo. Okay. So we can still undo past the creation and destruction. It's correctly parsing the entity ID and all that out. We're just not saving the entity data. And that I'm going to save for next time because it's time for me to go out and have some fun. Oh, Devin's here. Hey, man. What's up, dude? It's time for me to go out and have some fun. I don't think we'll do a late night stream. We might. We'll see. It depends. We're pretty close to have this working. So remember, like before, I had this whole serialize that was different, and okay, this was applied diff, but this is pretty good. We got some good stuff done today. This was nice. Our new version of diff entity. This is quality. Okay. This thing. Oh God, upgrading. Bro. That was bananas. Oh, we had a thing for shorter strings, like get string U16 len. And put string U16 len. So string U16 len. That'll take care of the people complaining that strings were too long. So where did derived data diff come from? I don't think it was as diffed as I claimed back in the day. Oh, there's that. Yeah, all right, this can go. Yeah, I feel like that was just the size of the original derived data, because I remember seeing us just alloc that whole size. So maybe I was lying that it was diffed, like maybe that was supposed to be a step closer. Anyway. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So, next stream, which probably isn't tonight, it'll be tomorrow, I guess. We will make creation and destruction work. And then we should have a fully undo system where I could play. And then I will think about restructuring this stuff more and simplifying it. You know, we're pretty close to something that you could play at this point. Like, I feel like if we do this, like, these levels probably don't use that much creation and destruction. Although that got annoyed at me for something. Let's see. So next time we'll implement creation and destruction, and then the goal is going to be to make all those tests pass, or else, do I have music turned off there? We can't do that with music turned off, okay, honestly. Why are we not having music? Are you guys hearing the music? Maybe it takes a while to get started. Why am I getting no music? It's just tragic. I don't understand what's going on there. Like, honestly. Okay, well. Why? I gotta put that on the Sokoban sheet. Why no music? Are we getting any sound? We're not getting any sound at all. Is the game just turned down? Is the game volume just turned down? Like if I run this, volume mixer, right? But we haven't heard any sound at all on this. Oh, because it's probably going to my headphones. No? What is going on? We need to figure out why there's no sound. Not right now, but later. That's so weird. So weird. Okay. We're getting there. We're almost playable. No sound at all. So what was that one? Undo line 218. There is no, what? 218? It's not right. There's no assert here. Line 218, what are you talking about? Oh, maybe here for some reason. It's plausible. $194. Maybe I just hadn't recompiled. 194. Okay. We're destroying something that was just created. I can do that before. No. I'll do it later. It's time to go out. So when I get back, we will fix that. And we will make creations happen and whatnot. Thank you, everybody, for coming by. And have a good evening. Yeah, I've been streaming a lot today, so it's time to go take a break. All right, Devin's going to stream. I'll host him. That's all good. Hopefully, he's already streaming. It's not Miller time yet. It's not Miller time till everything's done. So, yeah. See y'all later.
Let's see. Is John? Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, hi. Hi everyone. My name's Devin. John knows me because we used to play PUBG together. He still owes me a Chai early access. So, if you guys want to remind him for me, that'd be kind of cool. But right now I got kind of a new project in front of me. It's just basically most of my stuff that I've written has not been open source, so I'm trying to change that. This one is going to be completely open source, so yeah, that's a fun one. We're basically, if I actually go back to them, we're just kind of rewriting the whole thing tonight. We're going to get something rendering, we're going to get GLW compiling and all that fun stuff. Yeah, it's going to be, we're going to have a fun night. We got a good few hours in front of us to kind of spend working on this stuff. I think you have a Twitch tab on John's channel which is hosting you, so I hear an echo. I don't have any other sound going through, sorry.